Number, please. This is Irina Boxoff.
This is Father Arno Moriani. Hello, Professor. At the request of my hierarchy, I'm investigating the persistence of certain superstitions. You are an authority on questions of folklore and popular beliefs.
You flatter me. Let's say that I have had the good fortune to inherit the library of my predecessor, Professor Hermann von Bergen. But tell me, what exactly is your investigation focused on?
The belief in those imaginary creatures called vampires.
Vampires. You're interested in vampires.
Just to demystify them, the Catholic Church wants to fight this superstition.
I have serious reserves about getting into the subject. I am in great demand, you know. Could you be more precise about the framework in which you're conducting your inquiry?
I was entrusted with it by Monsignor Felicio Briganti of the Congregation of Rites. If need be, you can contact him by calling Vatican 63.
Your references are serious. I'll accept to help you, Father, but I don't trust the telephone. Could you visit me at my office in Budapest?
Certainly. As early as tomorrow, if it's all right with you.
Very good. I'll expect you.
Oh, I forgot. I was told that you possess a volume related to my inquiry. A biography of Vlad Tepes?
That's true. Professor von Bergen left me Michel Beheim's account in verse. It's a 15th century manuscript, very precious. But did you know that the German prose version was reprinted in 1905? It's a brochure entitled Geschichte Dracula Vida, brought out by the Friends of the Vatican Library.
Published by the Friends of the Vatican Library? In that case, it won't be difficult for me to procure a copy. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Father. Number, please.
This is Cardinal Felicio Briganti.
This is Father Arno Moriani. I intend to go have a discussion with Professor Irina Boxoff in Budapest to complete my file on vampires.
Very good. Will you be coming back to Rome directly afterwards?
If you don't see any problem with it, I'll go back to Vladoviste first. I'll be more tranquil there to write out my conclusions.
Ah, an excellent idea. You'll be able to take advantage of the fresh country air. I also plan on spending a week or two in the country.
I almost forgot. Could you have a work that was published by the Friends of the Vatican Library sent to me?
Certainly.
It's a bound volume, Geschichte Dracula Vida, reprinted in 1905.
No problem. I'll send it to you at your inn. Let me insist on one point, Arno. For your research, it's important that you consult the best scientific experts. We need the authority of a doctor and a historian to support your conclusions.
I understand.
And after you've finished your work, make sure you get some rest.
Goodbye, Your Eminence.
Be well, Arno.
Number, please. Alba Eula, put me through to Germany. Munich, 321941.
This is Professor Heinrich von Kruger.
This is Father Arno Moriani. Professor, I'm calling back to ask for your help.
How can I help you?
Well, it's rather delicate to explain. You should know, first of all, that I belong to the Holy Congregation of Rites. I came to Vladoviste to investigate the life of Martha Kelegarl.
Would you like me to talk to you about her? She was a remarkable woman.
To tell the truth, my mission has changed. For reasons that would be a little long to explain, I now have to investigate vampires.
Vampires? Don't tell me. The Catholic Church has started to believe in vampires.
On the contrary, my superiors want to combat this belief. They're alarmed to see how resistant it still is in the 20th century.
Yeah, very good. If it's to fight superstition, you can count on my assistance.
It will be invaluable to me, for I need the viewpoint of a scientist on the vampire myth.
Do you realize this is the very subject of the research I was carrying out with Dr. Calugarl? We discovered a disease, the P syndrome, whose symptoms are quite similar to those attributed to the victims of vampires. So the legend is based on specific medical facts. Dr. Calugarl contacted me while she was caring for a patient called Marescu. His granulocytes showed a very curious anomaly. She sent me a blood sample by carrier pigeon, and we worked on this case together. The result of our collaboration was the discovery of P syndrome. Afterwards, we had to specify the cause of the disease and perfect a serum. For that, I needed statistical data. I asked Dr. Calugarl to take a large number of samples from the population of Vladiviste. Unfortunately, the war interrupted our research.
Did you pick up again with Martha Calugarl after the end of the hostilities?
It wasn't possible for me to contact her immediately. When I was finally able to phone the dispensary, she was dead. It was Dr. Florescu who answered me. Of course, I've been insisting for some time now that she do so. As soon as she sends me the results I'm missing, I'll be able to find a serum that's effective against P syndrome. I just say that they're not supernatural creatures, but there certainly do exist mentally ill people who are bloodthirsty. Look at Countess Elizabeth Báthory, who in the 16th century bled to death hundreds of young girls before she was walled up alive in her Carpathian castle. In addition, as I mentioned, patients afflicted with the P syndrome suffer from very odd physical and psychological disorders that make them resemble the victims of vampires. Oh, what did these patients do?
They went out alone in the night, as if they were answering a call. They ripped off the garlic necklaces the doctor had placed on them.
Somnambulism, allergy to garlic. Those signs are most likely associated with P syndrome, as are pallor, drawn features, anemia, and other symptoms we haven't yet discovered. Unfortunately, yes. What an abominable novel.
You're too severe. That's not what Oscar Wilde thought.
I won't tell you what I think of Oscar Wilde, and I'll limit myself to the novel. It's a tissue of inconsistencies. Let's see. Stoker affirms that those who die as victims of a vampire should become one in turn. So at that rate, vampirism should spread like an epidemic, with a growth rate faster than Fibonacci's famous immortal sequence. In a first stage, all of mankind would be vampirized, and then, in a second, the vampires would also disappear, not having any victims left to feed on. So Stoker's hypothesis is therefore perfectly absurd. No species can live without regulation. Stoker considers himself a historian and a scientist, but he's just an oddball. His novel is a collection of implausibilities. Take the character of Lucy. That woman, he keeps saying, is getting better, until she just dies. A victim of Dracula, she's treated by transfusion. Blindly, of course, because at the time, we knew nothing of blood types. In those conditions, what are the chances the patient will accept the donor's blood?
About 1 out of 3, if my recollections are good. Nonetheless, in desperate cases, it's worth the trouble to try.
Certainly. But the good Professor Van Helsing, who is always described as a genius, repeated the operation with 4 different donors. The chances of survival for that poor Lucy then fell to less than 2%. It's probably the transfusions that killed her, and not Dracula. Let's get back to Van Helsing, supposedly an expert on vampires. He teaches us that they can read minds and change into bats. However, he's not worried about finding one of the latter at the window of the room in which he's holding a meeting. And then he seems so surprised that Dracula knows his plans. Ha! The naivety of that character is irritating. Yeah, I know the work of Murnau. They call it expressionism. But for me, those morbid fantasies have much more to do with pathology. Tell me, could I ask you a personal question? Listening to your voice, I have the feeling that you're a little tense.
Yes, I'm not sleeping well.
Nothing else? You can confide in me. I'm a doctor, you know.
Well, sometimes I get the feeling I'm being spied upon. I'm sure it's only an impression, but it's becoming an obsession.
Father Arno, you are sensitive and susceptible, like our late lamented Dr. Caligaro. These are qualities, but they make you vulnerable. Above all, don't let your imagination govern you.
That's good advice. Thank you. I'll try to follow it. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Father.
He used to correspond regularly with Martha before the war. He didn't believe in vampires. According to him, the victims were sick people who needed to be cured. Martha shared his opinion at the beginning. It was during the war that she understood the truth.
Ozana, I'm leaving for Budapest for a day or two. Would you please keep my room?
Well, that is...
Naturally, I'll pay you for my keep, even for the nights that I'm not here.
In that case, of course, Father. I'll keep your room for you.
Luana.
Certain things, but I also know the virtues of silence. As much as I want to know. I have a feeling that before the end you will know more than me about the dragon.
Come in.
Father Arno, I presume? You didn't have too much difficulty finding my office?
No. The concierge told me what I needed to know. You have a wonderful place.
All the art objects surrounding me were bequeathed by my mentor and friend, the late Professor Hermann von Bergen.
I know his reputation. He was a great traveler.
And a distinguished scholar. But tell me, did you have a pleasant journey?
Yes, thank you. I admired the Transylvanian landscape, then I fell asleep.
And you've come from Transylvania?
From Vladiviste, to be precise.
The homeland of Vlad the Impaler. You made the right choice of locales to investigate vampires. Herman went there too when he was young. He never told me. I've had various hypotheses, of course, but I must confess, the question intrigues me. And to think that the answer might lie behind you. The personal papers of Herman are in this strongbox. He died suddenly, and didn't have the time to give me the code for opening it.
Can I try to open it? I'm no expert in the matter, but with a little luck...
Gladly. I'd be very grateful if you managed to open Herman's strongbox. It's a container of acid. If anyone tries to force the strongbox, it breaks and destroys everything within it.
This lock is incredibly noisy. Or has my ear become more sensitive? I can't get over how clearly I can hear the mechanism. It's extraordinary. I found the combination. MDCCCXX. Looks like a number in Roman numerals.
Thank you for opening the strongbox, Father. Would you be so kind as to deposit the contents on my desk? A wax cylinder and a letter. Let's see the letter. Very interesting. Are you familiar with the name of Bram Stoker?
He's the author of Dracula. I had the opportunity of perusing his novel.
This is a letter from Mr. Stoker addressed to Herman. Read it, please.
So then Stoker was inspired by a story told him by Professor von Bergen, the story of events that had taken place in Transylvania, perhaps in Vladoviste?
It's probable.
Did you know that Professor van Bergen knew Bram Stoker?
Yes, but I ignored all the details that are recounted in this letter. I only knew that Stoker had cited Herman among the sources inspiring him, and Herman was not flattered.
Had the professor foreseen the novel's success?
In no way. One day he told me, speaking of Stoker, that irresponsible man didn't understand half of what I told him. He's peddling errors that could cost people their lives. Fortunately, his book will be quickly forgotten. The first trace we have stems from ancient Babylon. The creation poem contains sinister allusions to Lilith, the unappeasable, who sucks the blood of newborns. Several centuries later, the Odyssey evokes dead people who crowd together to drink at a blood-filled ditch. But it's in Europe, beginning in the 14th century, that veritable epidemics of vampirism are described. They would continue until the 18th century, a period which left us much written testimony.
For example?
The famous Visum and Repertum report, written in 1732 by a retired Austrian military doctor. In it, We learn in abundant detail how Serbian peasants open a vampire's grave and execute him by driving a stake through his heart.
What an energetic method.
It's very widespread. In Russia, they use an aspen stake. In other places, it's made of hawthorn, from which Christ's crown of thorns was woven. It has to. Reports describe hundreds of grave openings. The vampire's cadaver is identifiable because it's perfectly conserved. It often appears swollen by the blood it has absorbed. The blood stains its clothes, its nails, or its mouth. It's sometimes so abundant that it overflows the coffin. What do you mean by believe, Father?
I mean, do you think that vampires have a real, objective existence?
Real or objective? You must choose, Father. Because the only immediate reality is subjective. The rest are just hypotheses.
All right, your viewpoint is unassailable. So let me reformulate my question. According to you, has the existence of vampires been demonstrated?
Jean-Jacques Rousseau said, "If ever there was in the world a warranted and proven history, it is that of vampires. Nothing is lacking. Official reports, affidavits of well-known people, of surgeons, of priests, of magistrates. The evidence is most complete."
Yet all these stories and affidavits seem very confused to me. I sense nothing coherent behind it all. Didn't you say yourself that the traditions don't agree?
Don't take the legends literally. I think they are the deformed reflection of a truth that is even more horrible. This book, The Lords of Twilight, is the most rigorous volume ever written on vampires. Open it.
The Lords of Twilight is the work of an insane person. It's sheer madness.
Father, the war that has just ended shows that the whole world can go mad. In less than 30 years, evil will seize power and the earth will once more catch fire.
No, not so quickly, not so soon. After the carnage we went through, the world will take the time to let its wounds heal.
You'll see. The author of the book, the Thule Society that publishes it, all of them are criminals who won't hesitate trampling on corpses to gain power and eternal life. The war will come because of them and their like. That's very possible. Vlad was a cruel ruler, intelligent and determined. He could very well have made a deal with the devil and conquered immortality.
So he would have lived several centuries?
To be sure.
But where would he be hiding?
In Vladiviste? Why not? Or elsewhere. The fox might have changed his den. The only way to tell would be to follow the path until its end. It's a group founded by Heinrich von Kreutzberg on the ruins of the Golden Dawn, another secret society. Thule reached out to Professor von Bergen many times, but he couldn't bear them. He always kept his distance, and I followed his example.
Did they approach you?
Many times. Openly, not in any roundabout way. Oh, they're very clever, very influential. I would never compromise myself with them. Do you know the hidden apocalypse of Thomas the Greater?
Yes. There are those who say it is a prophetic work.
Here it is. Open the book, and you will read some astonishing things. This page reveals the origin of the Great War, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand at Sarajevo. The event that would submerge the world in horror had been announced centuries before in this book.
Really? This page, you say?
Forget the direction you ordinarily read in. Try to compose words vertically or diagonally. See?
Casus belli. The cause of the war.
Exactly. The prophecy contains two other terms that cross the first one. Look for them, and you will find the date and place of the assassination. Here's the place. Here's the date. Everything's there. In 1914, in Sarajevo, the incident that caused the war occurred. It can't be a coincidence.
It's very odd, I grant you that.
That's the past. Now let's discover the future. You see, on this page, the Thule Society is clearly designated. Its name is associated with Kheops, which means massacre. To know more, look for connected terms. So now everything is clear. At the instigation of the Thule Society, evil will triumph in Germany in 1936, and there will be massacres.
So this prophecy is at the root of your mistrust of the Thule Society.
It's just one element among many others. Believe me, those people have no notion of compassion. I see it as a way to force destiny, to attain, thanks to the Force, spheres forbidden to man.
How could that be possible?
Father, you are well placed to know that sacraments of good exist. You must accept that there are also sacraments of evil, handed down from time immemorial.
If they do exist, these sacraments can only be dangerous illusions.
They do exist. 7 of them. 7 stages of the same route. 7 trials to change a man into a bloodthirsty monster who pretends to deal with God as an equal. The keys to the path of the dragon are hidden in ancient documents. Take this occult work. It contains an illustration that I would ask you to examine carefully.
I know that painting. I saw it very recently. It's Raphael's crucifixion scene. Although, no, it's not precisely the same work.
Excellent memory. It is indeed a copy. We shall point out the differences with the original one by one. In the original painting, the angel on the left holds 2 chalices.
To be sure, I remember that very well. In your copy, the angel on the left is only holding 1 chalice.
Absolutely. That's the most flagrant difference. There's another one, but you'll need a magnifying glass to see it. Focus your magnifying glass on the base of the cross.
An inscription, but it's in ancient Enochian. Do not let your blood flow in vain. A strange locution. What meaning do you ascribe to all this?
Herman had an idea on the subject.
These variations between the 2 versions of the crucifixion are troubling. You say that Professor Van Bergen was able to interpret them?
Herman was convinced that the variations in the documents revealed the secrets of the path. Imagine yourself as a copyist, seeking to transmit a message to initiates. 2 methods are possible. Either you add an element to the original, or more subtly, you remove one.
The chalice?
Yes, it's absent from the copy, and I think it's a way to draw attention to it. The devil leaves his signature in its absence, Herman said.
Then the chalice is important.
An object is associated with each stage of the path. I'd venture a guess that the chalice is one of them. There are 6 others to discover.
What happens at the end of the route?
The initiate must accomplish one last rite. He won't be able to unless he's understood all he's achieved before. That is, if he knows the order of the trials as well as the objects and symbols related to each of them. If you want to transmit forbidden knowledge, it's an advantage to plagiarize sacred art. Your copy will be piously conserved by simple folk who don't even suspect what you've hidden there. And your message will go through the centuries, understood only by those to whom it is addressed. Your spiritual brothers, the initiates. That's true, but it's very hard to find one's way in it. Herman had a very particular way of storing his books. Let's say he classified them more poetically than functionally. Without this catalog associating each book with its call number, I'd be lost in my own library. Every time I take a volume from the shelf, I write its call number on a bookmark I slip between the pages. That way I can put it back in place without losing too much time. For the same reason, I use ghosts.
Ghosts?
Yes. There are ghosts in my library. That's what we call the pieces of white cardboard that signify the place of a missing work on the shelf.
Professor, I don't want to take up too much of your time. This visit was most interesting, even if, I must admit, your opinions hardly go in the sense my hierarchy expected.
It's regrettable that the Catholic Church is so rigid. But even if the existence of vampires may be doubted, the existence of the Thule Society is unquestionable. Beware of it, Father. I'll gather some documents that will show you all of the malevolence of this organization. Where can I send them to you?
At the Vladovista Inn, if you'd be so kind. Thank you for receiving me so graciously, Professor.
I wish you a safe journey back to Transylvania, Father. God keep you.
What an astonishing conversation. It's as if this woman lived in another world. I'll have to test some of these arguments on Professor Kruger. I'm curious to know his opinion.